everyone, hey and welcome back to yet another episode of Battle Rap Resume. This is your host Tom Quee here. Really excited to get into the episode. Every episode I'm very excited to get into, but you know, they're pretty good, aren't they? They're pretty fun to listen to. They're very fun to do as well. So thank you again for joining me. Follow us at Battle Rap Resume on the Twitter there. We also have the Patreon, the YouTube. Please subscribe on there. Leave us a comment, iTunes. You know, there's lots of ways you can help Battle Rap Resume out. Also get in touch with me as well. battleresume@gmail.com. You may have noticed I've been doing these Ask BRR sort of fan mail episodes sort of thing, inspired by Unbiased Review, in singly that way, I must stress. That very odd story that, but yeah, no, send in your emails, your questions for me about Battle Rap, whatever, the show, wider things. Ask Battle Resume, lots of episodes going up there now, so definitely check that out as well. But yeah, I mean, you know, one of the things about battle rap that I love, you know, I'm trying to boil it down here. I've done so many interviews, so many hours over this weird thing, and I'm like, what is it about? What is it, the soul of it that I love, the essence of it? It's the writing, you know, I find that irresistible. I've always been a fan of great writing, really. And, you know, a lot of people talk about the various aspects of battle rap, and they all, you know, make up the parts of a battler. But Twisted, I heard you agreeing there, like, writing for you, it's paramount, right?
Yeah, that's the literature is the priority.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's a beautiful opening thing to say, man. And I completely agree. Twisted PENNYS, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me on here.
No, really, really excited to get. I mean, you know, we were saying just for when I'm there, you've got 4 battles, but I'm a massive fan. I'm not just saying that. I am a huge fan of your writing, man. And Lazy Ass Jack was on the show recently, and we did a top 10 drops. And we sort of discussed you and your drops and just your writing stuff. My first memory of you actually is a weird one. I was in an airport and there was this layover, this South American airport, and but it had great Wi-Fi, and we were all just sort of chilling out, and it was like New Year's, and I'm looking on Verse Tracker now, and the Sleepy G battle is the 29th of December 2014. So yeah, it was exactly that time. Didn't know who you were, sort of knew who Sleepy was, obviously big battle fan, put it on, and I was spellbound, man. It was a unique feeling watching battle rap writing where, you know, like you say, the literature of it, I found it overwhelming, so good.
Oh, thank you, man.
Where did the roots lie? Like, what were your early sort of influences?
To be honest, it's kind of like a hybrid of just reading books and listening to hip-hop, and I was always more... obviously now it's like I can take the whole of America and the whole of like the world and the hip hop that comes from everywhere and appreciate it for what it is. But in my earlier days, I would be obviously on some really pro New York type fucking like really like it was always Wu-Tang, Nas, MF Doom, the details, the storytellers, the picture painters. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily the vibe generators or the energy. Like the party rhymers or whatever. It was always the people I felt like it was actual art and like just the way that they describe their environment and the way they paint the pictures, it just come from that. And then obviously just always trying to I've always since I've been able to talk, I can remember I've always just tried to have like this ever expanding vocabulary, you know what I'm saying? So there's just coming through that way.
Yeah, there's a certain power, isn't there, in words you don't often hear in battle rap. And just saying them, like, you know, I think when Soul said I'll turn C major into a crescendo, it's just like oddly satisfying, isn't it? Yeah. Soul
is probably the one guy coming through this battle rap thing, I would say, has got the maddest like literature game. Like I said, like if it was to be a thing, if battle rap was done by books and it was like my book versus your book, like that, then it would be him. He would be like the king of it still.
These ultimate like Game of Thrones style epics of battle rap, that would be George Bar Martin or something like that. I can't.
Something like that.
Something like that. I'm trying to write in front of Twisted PENNYS. Forgive me, but you know this idea. But I mean, okay, who else though? I mean, you know, people like Soul, people like Ogmios. Do you like him?
I like Ogmios, but you know, I do like Ogmios and like just his energy and just his approach. He's another one where it's like definitely the discrete particulars of the words, but the two people who come through Don't Flop, who I've come across through Don't Flop, who have inspired me so much, is Shuffle and Marlowe. Like their application of rhyme and reason is like nothing I've ever seen before, expressed in a way like I've never seen before. Like even they have nothing to do with any type of hip hop. Like, but in terms of like just the attention to detail, because I've always focused on that as well, but like the way that they put it through, like in a kind of like sarcastic comedic way, like watching them really inspired me like throughout the years, innit?
And you speak about this sort of earlier influence of the kind of the New York scene and stuff. Like, how early was it for you getting into battle rap?
I can remember. I can remember, like, obviously, I can remember being a kid and watching 8 Mile. That's one thing.
Right.
And then I can remember, like, I would just watch them on YouTube. I wouldn't be like, okay, this is the league. I didn't know that there was leagues. I didn't know that there was competitive. I just thought these are two people cussing each other. I remember I seen Loaded Lux. I didn't know he was Loaded Lux at the time, and he had that weird leather hat on. Right. And it was just like there was a room full of dudes, and he was just clashing some other guy. I don't know who the other guy was, but at the time I didn't know who Loaded Lux was. And then it was afterwards. Yo, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Yeah, sorry, I just got another call. But yeah, and then so I just watched videos like that, and I remember seeing early videos of Arsenal, and it was always like and then I think it just progressed into the leagues would give you a place to put your competitive energy through your craft, whereas that's like as opposed to like making music and like having to make diss songs or whatever, which that's another thing that like always inspired me early on through hip hop is like the war waging between the diss songs, you know what I'm saying? Not necessarily face to face, but like, oh, this song's about that guy, and in this song he says this, and that's about this, and then this is his response over here. And obviously we still see that like in grime and in hip hop as well, but in hip hop it's kind of all gone towards this face to face platform.
That's true. That's true. Actually, yeah. It'll play itself out in like Joe Budden viral hits, but not in actual songs. Yeah. What you?
Yeah, like it's not like you don't really get the LL Cool J Cannabis type thing anymore.
Yeah. No, that's even like the Ether stuff as well.
Stuff like that.
Yeah,
but I actually prefer that way, because I think it's just because I'm used to doing it over music and that, and I think and obviously battle rap is like the one shot at perfection type thing. So like I think like with I prefer listening to two rappers compete over songs that they've sent at each other. But obviously like the battle rap thing in terms of like the jousting, you know what I'm saying, the gladiator like essence of it, like that's really inspiring as well.
Wasn't there? Didn't Cannabis and Eminem have a beef?
Yeah, they did. Jeez. Yeah, that was pretty good. That was I think Eminem kind of got him. I mean, Cannabis tried to get him with all these concepts and all these like angles where he like kind of twist up the stand stuff and all that, and then Eminem just clowned him on like a jokey one. Right. So that one wasn't really like bars on bars, but like there is others that like are proper like that. Yeah. Like I always like there's this one Master Ace and Boogeyman. That's probably the one that stands out for me. That's like a proper fucking like lyricist lounge underground New York thing from back in the day. But it's just loads of things like that.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm definitely going to check that out. Yeah, I've just found it on YouTube. It's there, so people go check that out. Master Ace versus Boogeyman. Yeah, Lyricist Lounge. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
awesome.
I mean, yeah, they sent tunes at each other and then they clashed face to face. But like originally, it was 2 songs.
And, you know, I want to stress, this happens in the occasional Battle Resume episode where I do this, and I want to stress I'm not a stalker, but there's certain tweets that I remember of people that just stick in your head for whatever reason, and, you know, you're on Twitter and, you know, there's some great stuff on there. And I remember you tweeting, just in the sort of theme of this knowledge expansion, you mentioned Master Ace and stuff like that. Didn't you put on a status something along the lines of, like, a good way to chill out is to put, like, a Wikipedia page on random and, like, let someone play it, like, through this...
Oh, no, it was you pull up a Wikipedia page of something interesting, highlight it all, right-click it and press speak, and then just go to bed. So then, like, your dream is just this robot voice talking about Mesopotamia or something.
Shit. I want to see Twisted Penny's Wikipedia history. I would learn so much.
Yeah, I go uni, so it's all sorts of different shit, but like it's anything. Okay. But there's this game in it, the Wikipedia game. I don't know if you know what it is. You know what that is?
It's like what, like a random game? Is it you randomize it or?
No, it's kind of like you think of 2 things. You try and think of the 2 most opposite things that you can possibly think of, and then you go on one of their Wikipedia pages, and you have to click you have to click links to try and get from one of them to the other. And I can remember one of them that just proved me wrong, which I thought I was never going to be able to do, and then I did it in like 5 clicks. Was Busta Rhymes' second album and the scientific process of osmosis. And it was so easy because all I had to do was go from Busta Rhymes to New York to Hudson River to water to osmosis. And like it's impossible to find two things that you can't link together unless like one of the pages is really scarce of information.
Right. Wow. Holy shit. And is that in his way twisted analogous to like multis and sort of just finding those stretches?
Yeah, that's another thing as well. Like I'm fully part of that gang where I will sit down and fucking crack my brain to get multis that are actually sick. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm fully part of multi gang in it. Fully.
I mean, who's in the multi Hall of Fame?
Oh, it's fucking obviously Bender. Shuffle T is the person. Shuffle T is the one that made me think, all right, okay, we can fucking take this and we can roll anywhere with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it was what I used to do when I was a kid, innit? Like, just try and, like, you know how, like, just make lists, like, a story that rhymes, like, every other second, you know what I'm saying? But then I saw that there was loads of other people paying attention to it. And when I was a kid, I didn't know it was called a multi. I just thought it was, like, a good technical bar. You know what I'm saying? But, seeing that there was other people enthusiastic about that made me think, all right, I'm going to fully, like, get back on my game on that shit. And then I just like started throughout like the past few years trying to incorporate that real technical shit back into my writing.
So is there anyone else you're putting up there? Bender, Shuffle? I'm trying to think who else. Yunnan? I know he's a little bit gauche maybe, but
yeah. Yunnans are good.
Pedro,
like, Yunnans
I guess.
are good technically. Pedro's one.
Yeah,
Pedro's are like He'll fucking blend consonants and vowels together to make it happen and that, and then like he'll obviously put like his attitude into it, and that can kind of like twist it away from like the technical correctness, which is sick. You know what I'm saying? Like if you can do that, that's even better. But like I know he's not sitting there like Shuffle T is and like getting like fucking lists of words together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hall of Famer Saurus. You fan of his multis?
I mean, he's another person, like, I'm not even gonna lie, like, there's a whole load of these battle rap names that are, like, the top guys, and I've watched them, like, once or twice, you know what I'm saying? I can remember, one time I used to watch battle rap was when Iron Solomon was doing his thing, and, that was another time when I'd be paying attention to it, but, like, I know that there's a whole load of names that are super fucking top battle rap names. I've never even watched them, and it's like that's another thing where I can't be like, oh, I'm the top battle rap don, because there's so much of it I don't even know about. It's like literally what has gone into my eyes and my ears and what has happened to happen. Like I've obviously watched loads of Don't Flop and loads of like quite a bit of King of the Dot and URL and all of that, but I don't have like the encyclopedic knowledge that you would put, like one would probably assume I have.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, regardless, we're here to talk about the writing itself, and just before we get onto that though, like you mentioned, you were sort of getting into battles. You didn't know who it was Loaded Lurks, whatever at the time. It was kind of that early knowledge. When did that codify? Like, how, you know, did you sort of get into battling by battling inside it, or?
What? How I got into battling on Don't Flop?
No, I mean more like, how did you start battling? Why did you want to battle?
Oh well, it was obviously because battle rapping is a part of it, innit? And it, like just like if you're trying to rep the essence or whatever, it's a thing where if somebody wants to clash you, you do it. And obviously at school, I was the guy with the bars, and there was other geezers who were jokers or whatever, or geezers who had like a little bit of charisma or a little bit of like wit. Yeah. And they'd come up like, oh, what, you rap? Yeah, come, let's clash, like on some jokey thing. And then I'd actually go through and do it, and it would be sick. Like, so I was always clashing people at school and that, but other than just turning up to parties and clashing people because they know I can spit, like, other than that, I didn't really actually focus on doing battle rap as a particular until I went on Don't Flop.
Was your name always Twisted PENNYS?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, pretty much. It's been Twisted PENNYS since I was like 15. That's just, I don't even know why. I still can't even fucking give a solid explanation. But it's just like there's nothing else that Twisted PENNYS is. It's just me. You know
where does that come from? The name. I mean, like, what does it mean to you? The name.
Okay, I'll give the explanation that I thought of to answer this question.
Right.
The actual explanation makes no sense. But okay, so people always said I acted American, and obviously I always preferred like fucking hip hop over grime or whatever. Always preferred the NBA over like football leagues and that. Like, just American TV over British TV. I didn't like, you know, it was always just over American. Like, so it was like pennies are obviously what make up a pound. But Twisted because it's not particularly British. And obviously, remember, I'm like 14 when I'm thinking of this, so it's like, it's bollocks. Because the first thing I thought of was Twisted Nickels. and obviously I can't call myself Nichols because that's American, so I just called it Pennies instead.
Right.
That's actually it.
Okay.
I can remember that.
For some reason, for me, it always conjured ideas of like the pennies on the train track and something being slightly kooky and jokerish, I suppose, on a slight tip. But
I think I've grown into the name pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, and name flips galore. Can come of it. Teeps, I think you go with as well, which is
Teeps just happened, innit? I mean, because I said Twisted Pennies, and then people call me TP, and then one time this girl just shouted Teeps, and then I was like, yo, you talking about me? Like, this felt good, innit? You know what I'm saying? So I just run with that as well.
No, totally, man. So this first battle then with C-Dash has quite a weird sort of genesis, doesn't it?
It's not. I was supposed to clash this other dude from Leicester. He was an absolute waste, man.
Right.
And I was so looking forward to just destroying him in front of everybody.
Yeah.
So I had this whole like crucifixion lined up, and he bottled it and he didn't come. And then I was vexed, innit? I was like, what? So all these people have come here, I'm not even gonna get to spit, blah blah blah. And then KY, he was like, come, we'll get Dash here. So, and then I was like, okay, we're gonna go back and forth. But like, as you can see in it, like some of the bars are dropped, like they're literally just verses, innit?
Right. The third.
And there was one bar I was going to say to the other guy, you look like a fat Lego man on a crack record, man. I just like twisted that. I just changed fat to black and said that to Dash so it looked a bit more fucking direct.
Right.
Yeah, but obviously if in Leicester, Dash is like a fucking legend, innit? Like he's like the grime spitter from the fucking early, like not like mid 2000s era that everybody knew his bars, everybody was watching him, everybody like he's so it's better that way. Like it turned out better that way because it was like two actually fucking renowned writers and artists and respected figures in this thing in Leicester, other than just this guy that everybody knows as a punk.
Heard they lack conscience, so the one's got mine. I'm trying to catch the sands of time and make them stand in line. Fuck a romantic, I'm too clapped to keep my standards high. A 4 or 5 to you in my eyes, that's like a standard line. I don't plan to write no ballet for no ranted slime. I'm dancing by the candlelight with phantoms in the pantomime. And please don't ever think I'm just another rapper guy. I need to take a massive bite to satisfy my appetite. Savage life is like a battle just to stay grounded. When the flame dances, this is for everyone who weighs ounces and hates bouncers and always takes the biggest shits in their mates' houses.
And it is an interesting beginning also because it possibly has one of the biggest like posse shouts I've ever seen in a battle.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, innit? Because that is like these like they wouldn't really know of they understand clashing and blah blah blah, but they don't really know the whole don't flop thing. Like they're gonna like when it says when it's like make noise, it's not just like okay make him feel welcome. It's like it's like the whole like letting it all off and that, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like the man are really trying to represent, you know what I'm saying?
No, certainly it does gift it a certain energy. Says that he doesn't condone gun violence in the beginning. A very mad intro. There's a comment, I don't necessarily agree with it, Twisted Pennies, but I just thought, I just let you know what it said. I just thought it was quite entertaining. It says that Twisted Pennies in this battle reminds this commentator of Zlatan Ibrahimovic in 2004.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the Ibrahimovic thing.
I guess, it's kind of a compliment to a certain extent.
Yeah, I know, especially when my hair was like that as well. My hair was crazy then. I remember that day. I don't know why I left. Well, obviously, I used to just leave my house like whatever, but when I had long hair, it was all mad.
Yeah. As a battler, do you read comments?
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, I do.
You got to.
Yeah, I do, but I like them. I like some of them. Some of them are solid. Like some criticisms and YouTube comments, like they're actually solid comments. Like some of them is obviously bollocks in it, but you can actually get. Obviously, I don't really give a fuck. Like I'm not gonna change what I'm doing, but like you can hone your kind of like output perception off of some of the shit that people say, not just in YouTube comments, but just in general, innit? It just happens to be in YouTube comments as well sometimes. I think what I'm referring to is someone on my JDZ Media Road Rage said, he's got a good flow, but his lyrics are awful with the way that he's trying to put across this image of self-righteousness or whatever. And at the first I was like, fuck you or whatever, but like the usual thing. But then I thought about it and it's like, I do watch that video in hindsight and know that I've like fucking just kind of ideologically developed since then. Right. Even though I know in that road rage video, it was a fucking emotional time, and I know that's why it was coming through like that. That's why I wanted to do the road rage then. But what just like knowing that, like reading that comment now and looking at it, and I have to agree with it. You know what I'm saying? Like I have to like I'd be lying if I didn't agree, because I can see the difference between me now and me then. You know what I'm saying? So like some of them I actually appreciate, even though they're trying to cuss. But like at the end of the day, like it's not really going to change anything.
No,
it's not going to change the way I do my thing. You know what I'm saying?
You say in your first lyrics are tighter than the vagina on Asylum Chicks.
Yeah, and then I thought about that, and then I was like, I bet certain chicks in this, like, this is obviously really harrowing, but like I bet like they're not all that tight. But then I thought about like fucking yeah, I know I thought about that bar since then and thought that doesn't make
no. I didn't even consider that, but yeah.
Yeah, like
wow.
some asylum chicks probably do get raped all day.
Right.
Like, but then there's probably some who haven't even seen another fucking human for
sure.
like 5 years. So you know what I'm saying? Like that, it doesn't make full on sense, innit?
What a paradigm! No, it's pretty harrowing. You perform in your first, and again, I'm not like critiquing or anything here because I appreciate the sort of last minute nature of the battle, but you more perform to the camera, it seems, than him.
Yeah, I know, and that's the first battle I've ever done, and I've done a million fucking freestyle videos and that. So I think that was just coming through in that way. You know what I'm saying? And plus as well, because I knew my bars weren't directed at him because they were just bars I had.
Yeah, no, it's been kind of, you do a lot, don't you? You sort of dip in your third as well, mostly from the drops you did.
Yeah. That's because those bars were just in my head that day, innit? Because obviously, I was prepared to spit these whole other bars to this other guy, and then last minute it's like, oh, you got a clash dash, but we'll just go back and forth and that.
And what did you think altogether? I mean, I know you didn't sort of get to do what you really wanted to do, but regardless, footage on cam.
Yeah, I was preferred it that way. I was glad I clash dash instead of the other guy, to be honest. Especially when it dropped, it was like cultivation for the people in Leicester who spit. You know what I'm saying? It was in the other instance, it would have just been me ripping someone apart, and then it'd be like, oh, that was good. You know what I'm saying?
You speak in Spanish in the second.
Oh yeah, no, I speak Spanish.
You speak Spanish? That's so cool, man.
Yeah, my brother's wife is Colombian.
Right.
So I just kind of just got with it.
You said actually in your second you're trying to find a woman like the one my brother married.
Oh, but that's not even the same one. I'm talking about my other brother's wife.
Oh, right.
Like, that's like the Colombian. Like, that's not the Colombian woman. That's a different chick.
Wow.
That's a different woman.
You talk like you have these sort of. It's kind of hard to put a finger on it, but like these really like crammed full of quite intelligent multis. You said you racked your brain for multis. I love you don't care what sniff addicted shit lyricists think of what I've been spitting since an infant eating crisps at picnics.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You think I give a fuck what some sniff addicted shit lyricist thinks when I've been spitting since an infant eating crisps at picnics?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
like just the juxtaposition really from like the drug insulation to like the very intimate, quite raw childhood
I never
image.
Thought about it like that.
Like it goes all directions, and I love it, man. Like it's kind of it's a flourish, isn't it, as a battler to do something like that?
Yeah, man. Yeah. But yeah, that's my favorite thing. If I can say fucking 4 sentences in a row that has like 3 or 4 rhymes in every sentence, and it all makes perfect sense. Like when I accomplish that, it's like it's just a blessed feeling. It's like kind of feel like that's what I'm here to do. You know what I'm saying?
No, for sure. And C-Dash, he's not bad, as you say. It's kind of it is this very last minute thing. 50 Cent, you're a quarter, so. He gets the reaction, and the third, I would sort of urge people really to watch the drops. You sort of you do other stuff as well, but it is really, really strong, and you kind of have that within you. You have like the sort of the infant picnic stuff, and then weigh ounces, hate bouncers, always take the biggest shit in their mates' houses.
Yeah, that's just another bar that came across me in my experiences of real life.
Right.
All 3 of those different things are real.
Wow. And with this battle, then, what was the reaction? Was the kind of sense that you battle again, or?
Yeah, there was at the time, yeah. Yeah, even though I still didn't get to know what it felt like to write somebody's fucking death certificate and serve it to them. It did make me feel good about Don't Flop, and like just Leicester as well. It made me feel good about Leicester as well, and because support is a bit shaky in Leicester at times, but on that day it was good.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned Leicester quite a lot, and talk to me about the scene. Like, how is it doing?
Well, I've had it under a microscope for about fucking 7 years now. Right. Like, just because it's where I'm from. It is. I mean, now it's a lot broader, isn't it? Now you can pretty much take any kind of angle you want, and as long as you're sick and you work hard, you will get something back from it. Whether that's just, well, whatever that is, it will just give back in some way. But there's been times when it's been just in the shadow of whatever's popping in London or whatever, or fucking, you know, every little city will have them things. But yeah, like. I remember for a long time it was so hard to get a pop-in show. Me and Kamikaze and BLG and our crew, like we've done so many shows like in like 2013 or whatever that were like fucking 10, 15 people. So like now to see how it's come and how it is now, in hindsight, I just really like, I got a lot of respect for my city. I mean, I feel like I've gone through stuff with my city, because when I first started, it was like, okay, this is my place, this is where I rep. And then it was challenging the way to see people who are just happy to not give a fuck. And then, like, then they just persevere through that. And then people have to give a fuck because they see that you're doing shit and you see that you're getting somewhere. And then that just kind of spreads. And then people who actually relate to you and fuck with you will, like, hold you up and spread you around and that, you know what I'm saying? And, like, I just think it's the perfect size as well. It's like 330,000 people, and you know, you've got like degrees of the third, and that it's like just really like it fits in. And I just think it's a nice amount, and it's just not too big, not too small. Sometimes in certain circumstances it is very much too small, but in terms of music, I think that, like, yeah, it's not impossible to nothing is impossible here really. Especially since we won the fucking league, it's been a different place for real. Like, since then, it's just been been Adventureland.
And you battle comedy.
One of your battles, you had an Obey snapback. Okay, that's that. Nah. You're about to see a murder. They won't name the victim. Pro pain and friction, slow pain infliction. This is your second time on Don't Flop, but one full diction will turn your beginning to your end, your Pulp Fiction. I'll seize your property with a demon mob with me. You rap like you have an obligation to mediocrity. Because your flow's nice, but there's nothing about your content that hasn't been done before. I guess in the time it took for Grime to get from London to Cardiff, the importance of content had run its course. And I don't know what
Fair to say, Twisted, a lot of people remember this event for Old English's SpongeBob outfit.
Yeah, I remember that.
Was that off-putting?
Nah, because at a Don't Flop event, I personally don't think that you can be the weirdest person in there, even if you try. So yeah, it wasn't surprising. It's like I just saw it. Like obviously, people just wear what they wear, innit?
Yeah.
I remember other people being like, "What the fuck is he wearing SpongeBob?" But I didn't even register at the time.
Get up, yeah. Just and I mean, no reason I'm asking this question more than curiosity. You a SpongeBob fan?
Yeah. I like SpongeBob.
Top 5 cartoons.
I've got to say, yeah, this might be a bit of a bait answer. Yeah, actually, you know what? Now I don't know, because I'd say I always, since I've been watching it, I'd say Adventure Time is the perfect cartoon, because I've always loved cartoons in it. Mm-hmm. But if we're gonna give top 5, as in now and then, as in like childhood and now, okay, I'd have to say, just through what I've learned as a fucking adult and just learning about life through shitty, stupid shit in a cartoon, and that translates to real, actual, solid, big man thing lessons. Number 1 has got to be Rick and Morty in it.
Wow.
So number 2, I'd say Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
What obscure Paul.
I loved that shit.
Yeah.
3, I'd say Adventure Time. And then we're just gonna have to go back to fucking old school Cartoon Network days. I'd probably say Ed, Edd and Eddy.
Wow.
Ed, Edd and Eddy definitely is top 5. I ain't gonna front.
Love the animation in that, particularly, man.
Yeah,
sort of
definitely. And then I'd probably have to say fucking Pokemon.
You
know the first Pokemon season.
Yeah. Kanto.
Yeah, probably have to say that. Just in terms of influence and shit. I mean, I know some people are big on Pokemon even in today's world.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I fuck with it in that, but like in terms of like a cartoon, I remember that shit. So that's probably it.
Like Pokemon, I agree. Pokemon majorly influential on me as well. If you look objectively at the character designs, season 1 was easily the best. Those first 150, like they've kind of diluted.
And then they started getting ice creams.
Exactly. There's like a fucking lamp.
I know a lot of the next generation Pokemons were sick to me as well. But it was like the first 150 was like a family.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like loads of people are in that family as well. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what up, Ivysaur? You know.
Yeah,
everyone.
just fully Marowak, Cubone, Arcanine. I could. Yeah, I've got a few favorites.
I want to share something with you, actually, Twisted, maybe after this podcast. Myself and my friends often on Facebook have like a sort of pun game we play.
Yeah.
And we're at the moment punning through the original 150 in order of household items. We've got to about I think we got to about pincer or something like that. We've got very far. So I might
mincer?
So I'll have to show it you, and I'm sure there will be some obvious ones to go through. But I'll put it on the Patreon as well. Maybe for the plebs later afterwards. But you know, we're here to talk about Camden Carnage comedy. You know, Welsh MC. It must have been good for you just to have a battle that you're writing for, you're prepping properly for.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna lie. I honestly don't think I fucking performed that well. I mean, it's because I remember I got there. I was just in London anyway, so I just went there on my ones because I knew that was what I had to do. And I remember I was waiting for ages to clash him. You know what I'm saying? I remember I was waiting for time, so I was going over my shit. And I ain't gonna lie. I have to concede that in that battle, I was trying to do trying to hit the fucking battle rap terminology shit fucking way too much. Like, just trying to be like, okay, this is what I'm doing now. Like, whereas I definitely think that then when it came to Sleepy G, that's the one if somebody asks me if I've been on Don't Flop, that's the one I point them to, innit? Like, the comedy one, I'm just glad I won it because I really think that one was a lot closer. But I think that he that was the best one I've done in terms of who the opponent was anyway.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say as well. You have some good stuff though in the first turn, beginning to the end, like Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, that's probably my favourite bar in that team.
Yeah, hard. We see you clowning quite Shuffle T-esque with the whole sort of couple of states America thing. Yeah.
No, that's just because I'm obsessed with America as well. So when I heard him say I'm in a state, like I was touring America in one freestyle, I had to pick up on that because I'm like, I just love America, innit?
What do you love about America?
Yeah, it's just the counterculture. You know, everything that you're meant to hate about America, everything inside America that rises up against that. That's what I love about it. Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I could go on and on and on, but that's pretty much it, basically.
Comedy asks, who'd you get your hat off, Kevin or Perry?
Yeah, that was quite sick.
He has that's what
I'm saying. He was sharp. You get me? He was sharp.
He was good. He had quite a weird setup where he's sort of saying about, you remind me of a job I had as an 18-year-old. I'm picking up pennies, like serving old ladies or something like that. It's like, what? What does that mean?
I know. With my name, I know people are gonna go reach so far with these fucking things. Like, I just kind of expected that.
Yeah.
Tongue Twister had a good one though.
Yeah. We'll get to that. Because there's lots to. But yeah, we get Penny's rounds in his first as well. We speaking of cartoons earlier. You mentioned Johnny Bravo, multied off Donnie Darko. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then Monte Carlo maybe.
Right.
I did that in a song, but yeah, no, that's a good one.
Yeah, tight.
Yeah, I can't remember what the bar was.
You say in this battle. And I'm pretty sure you say in every battle, you certainly say at the start of the Twisted battle, best of all time is Method Man.
Yeah, I will fight that argument to my death. Just for the sake of it, the best rapper of all time is Method Man.
I agree, I love Method Man. Not only is Method Man as Cheese Wagstaff from The Wire, he's so good at that. Also, shout out to him, I'm sure many of people discovered him through The What. On Ready to Die, man, he's killer on that track.
But when I say he's the best, I mean his second album to me has got the hardest, slickest, sharpest, sickest, illest bars of all time.
Wow.
But then it comes like just knowing he's got the like just not. I think that MF Doom is the best in terms of we're just talking bars, literature, words, message, fucking diction, vocabulary. MF Doom is the best in that sense. But like just being a rapper myself and seeing like the lifestyle and shit and seeing how Method Man held it all together and did the stuff to make the money and still always had sharp, witty lyrics as well. And then you look at his underground stuff and it's just fucking the best shit you've ever fucking heard. It's literally like blades in a song. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I'd say all round he's the best rapper ever in it.
Are you a fan of Blackout?
What, Method Man and Redman?
Yeah.
Yeah, fully. I remember my brother gave me that CD when I was super young, and I was like, "Fucking hell!" Redman is another one as well. Redman has probably influenced me more than Method Man for my own shit. Like Method Man in Observance is the best to me, but in terms of just like personality and energy, and just feel like they've got life sussed, and just I'm being glad to like just be as urban as them. Because Redman, I've probably been listening to like. In Focus longer than Method Man, because for a long time Method Man was just another person in Wu-Tang to me when I was a little kid, whereas Redman was Redman, you know what I'm saying? And he had Doc's the Name with the album cover where he's like a CGI little red man jumping through a wall, and I thought it was a PS1 game. So I was like, this isn't even a game, but I'm just gonna like fuck with it anyway, because like it sounded like, because the beats on that album are bare kiddie anyway, and like it was just fun. And then I just grew with the album, and then I was like just firmed the bars more as I got older. But yeah, Redman's another one, isn't it? Like Redman's pretty much my dad.
I appreciate in your second you're brutally honest. If you're a rapper and come from Leicester, believe me, if you have promo, you're gonna use it. Yeah,
that was another thing I did as well. Like, just because I was dropping a fucking mixtape exactly around that time, and I was going on Don't Flop, I was like, I'm just gonna put a whole fucking thing in there about the fact about this team.
Yeah. You say songs don't kill rappers, battles do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing. Like you see, like Cannabis and that. I mean, I always loved Cannabis when I was a kid, but it's kind of hard to defend him now because of how hard he's tried to go in the whole like fucking battle thing, and how it's just a clown thing, really, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. And
yeah, that's one example of that. And it's just other things where it just doesn't translate well.
You seemed just a little bit of a struggle at the start of your third, sort of pausing.
Yeah, I fully choked in the fucking one of the verses. Only for like 2 bars. I remember one of the bars I was going to say that I didn't say had something to do. Oh, I said it was vocabs cheddar bob. You know, like as far as I can tell, your vocabs cheddar bob. That was the shit I didn't say. That's the only bar that I missed out.
No,
and that probably would have been alright.
Yeah, that would have went off. I think obviously 8 Mile's been done to death, but that angle is pretty original. Yeah. And comedy, he's not bad. He's quite winning in a certain way. He does a newspaper scheme that's very sort of, your face ain't the news of the world, so don't look in the mirror.
Yeah,
it's just it's not. And we go down to the judging, which is a controversial decision. SpongeBob Old Pants feels that your swag did well, but ultimately gave it to comedy. Bam as well. He says very. Do you remember what he said? He's very.
Yeah, he said he thought I was going to take it comfortably, but comedy did. And I know, like he probably saw the choke and thought, nah.
Yeah.
But that's understandable from his point of view.
He just goes, he just says that, and then he's like, comedy won the battle, no arguing sort of thing. And but regardless, both Villain, Ogmios, and Natural, they feel your style way more, and that seems to be the story of the battle. Yeah, I think it's because I think them lot could. I think if from especially someone like Natural, from his point of view, they're gonna analyze the artist in the battler, and I think that's something I had up on comedy. You know what I'm saying? Like he probably had more charisma on the day, but I think in terms of just a solid background in spitting bars, like that probably came through more with me. Yeah, and that shows you really. Maybe there's a few different judges there. It might have gone some other way. I'm not saying it deserves to, but obviously it's kind of.
But that's what I'm saying. Like with the Sleepy one, I didn't even fucking win that. You get me? But then the comedy one, I rather thought, am I even going to win this? The Sleepy one, I was like, I gotta just fucking mop the floor with this dude.
I've mentioned it many times on the show, Twisted. In fact, when Sleepy came on, obviously shouts to Sleepy, great guy, great to have him on. I was trying to resist it because I see it as a giant robbery. I did in that airport. I do now. There's no questions that you outright the arse off him.
I know. I mean, as soon as I watched it back, the first thing I thought was, "Fucking hell, I'm looking at the floor." That's one thing that he was more like fucking grizzly bear, bang on your chest. But that's probably one thing he had one up on me. He did have some. He had some solid bars.
Yeah. Oh, no. We'll get to that. He did. But building up to this battle, was Sleepy the person you wanted next in the tournament?
What was that? A vocab, Sleepy, and Juan?
Yes.
Yeah, I would have chose Sleepy if it was my choice, though.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense. Something else I say about this era, the best final would have been you versus Juan, right?
Yeah, that would have been fucked. I'm kind of glad I didn't have to do that because, I mean, I would have done it. Would have been sick.
Yeah.
But Juan, obviously, I would have out-rapped him a million times, but it's not even that with him, innit? It's he just surprises you with his fucking sarcasm. And Juan's one of my fucking favourites, to be honest. And then but watching him versus Sleepy, afterwards, bastard, it was just so satisfying.
So we get to this battle, which is an outdoor battle, break battle, 6th birthday. I don't know if you remember this. Dank Schrader in the background.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, cool to see him there.
I didn't know he was at the time, but I know who he is now.
Sleepy, what did you think of Sleepy coming into this?
I'm not. To be honest, he seems like somebody who has decided to spit bars because of the culture of Don't Flop.
Right.
And he's decided to participate because it looks fun. And he's not terrible at it, but obviously, I've been fucking spitting bars since I learned the fucking Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song when I was like fucking 8. Like, this is my shit, you get me? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, to him, I think that it's like, it was like a hobby for a bit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. I mean, yeah, even with Raptor, I remember seeing him and Raptor in it. Yeah, I thought he was good. He had good fucking, his confidence in it. He's got good fucking grizzly bear mannerisms, but I thought Raptor fucked him up even though he choked because it was 3 days prep or whatever. But yeah, I still thought Raptor won. But that's because I think Raptor's sick, innit?
Yeah, no. And
Why is he acting ill? I'll let this matic spill a Catherine wheel and slap you till you're yakking up the salad from your Happy Meal, you animal. You've been going ham on all them as the price salmon deals. So when I first saw the size of you, I thought, well, damn, this motherfucker looks American. Either that or this motherfucker's motherfucked an elephant. I know that I shouldn't go in on your weight because that shit's fucking bait. And it's not like you're fat. It's more like you just swallowed the fridge and took the shape. Honestly, I'm trying not to talk about your frame. I just think it's mad that you managed to walk without a cane. See, I've been through the desert on a horse without a name, and for you to try and fuck with my portion of the game, you'd have to snort an ounce of cane and drive a Porsche through the rain for 40 nights and 40 days to get your order up in time for them to call us guys the same.
Sleepy begins, you should be feeling scared. He was going to go on your weird hair, but you shaved it off.
I knew he was going to do that.
Probably my favourite Sleepy G bar of all time. I said this on the episode before. Wolf of Wall Street, Make My Name Off Penny Stock.
Yeah, that was a good bar. He did have some sick bars. There's one I always remember, but I can't remember what it is right now. But I just say it to myself when I'm trying to like take myself to court or humble myself or something. I can't remember what it is, but it's just, he says something and it was hard.
He sort of impersonates you, does a bit of a Lord of the Rings fantasy world line. When he steps in the ring, the physical presence disappears.
Nah, I thought that was a bit fucking...
Yeah.
That was a bit of a fucking Lego construct with like bricks in the wrong place.
And another sort of bar that I'm not saying this is a great bar, but like I like name flips to a certain extent. If I take care of the pounds, Pennies won't be able to take care of himself.
Yeah, no, that's good because that's a good proverb.
Yeah,
that was quite hard. I like that one.
Yeah, no, it is quite hard. And your style is more conversational, but more incendiary. Journalist from Faggotville, been going ham on all those Asda Price salmon deals. And the whole motherfucked an elephant. He swallowed the fridge and took the shape. Really good stuff here. And just like, for me, it's the peppering of these kind of quite poetic, kind of Norman McCaig style, vision of a polar fox. It's like, I like that stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember that, but I remember going on and on and on, and I think that's one of the things that worked against me. Yeah,
I suppose. I mean, it's the audience who's watching it, isn't it? And I think I'm just a bit more of a kind of, indirect sort of guy in a certain extent, the kind of caliber of it. TP's greasy. Anyone thinking this shit guy's sick with rhymes must have been hypnotised by Mystic Guy saying you are now feeling sleepy.
Yeah, that was
crazy.
When I thought of that, I was like, yeah, that's going in.
That's fucking hard, man. I think reacts to that as well, and it's brilliant. And you do the whole sort of, you think comedy beat me, and here's something that'll chill your heart. Like a great first from you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it is. Like, I want to urge. I appreciate that. No offense or anything, but people might be listening to this and might not be too familiar with your work. I want to urge them to check out the Sleepy G battle, if anything else. Really, really good. And he sort of talks about sleeping in a second. He said 3 months prep. Your album Torture Chamber is apparently accurately named.
Because after I listened to it, I was in unimaginable pain.
Does that hurt? Does that hurt you to hear a line like that?
Nah, because what he would have done, because he said your CD some shit beats and every track stacked with an average verse. What's the bar after that? And you baited yourself with them hooks. So look who opened up a can of worms. That's the bar I always say to myself. And you baited yourself with them hooks. But no, that bar's hard. That
is hard.
sick.
That is hard. Who's gonna crash and burn?
Because at Clark, he must have listened to the album and thought, okay, verse hook. We're just gonna go off the fact that it's a verse hook thing, because that album is pretty like traditional kind of hip hop style. So like, yeah, that was whatever in it. Nothing he fucking said got to me really in it. Like,
yeah, I mean, a few more impersonations, and nothing really more. You do a sort of size kind of comparison. He looks like Ray Winston if he played a Simpson.
Yeah, that's another one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, that's funny, man. I'm guessing you're a Simpsons fan. You must be.
Yeah, I love The Simpsons. I think about The Simpsons every day.
Yeah, me too. It's like, I don't think The Simpsons gets enough love. I think because it's so big.
Because yeah, it's one of them things, isn't it? It's like, if you hate it, you hate yourself, because you only hate the fact that it's in you. Because it's in you, because it's The Simpsons.
I have a few friends, and if you do as well, I'm sure most people that don't like The Simpsons, and it's like, I don't get it.
But I just don't believe you. I just believe that I just like, you just, because if you're trying to convince yourself you don't like The Simpsons, it's just you just can't. It's like you hate yourself.
Yeah, big. I guess just before we go on to the bars, who's your favourite member of the Simpsons family?
Oh, Maggie.
No,
Lisa. Yeah.
Lisa, good. And you know, sort of, you talk about this being a good way to make friends. Don't flop.
Yeah, that just sprung off the fact that I happened to be at the previous event on my own, innit? Because I thought that he was gonna clown me about coming there on my ones. You know what I'm saying? So I just had that there just to say. You know what I mean? And obviously, plus, it is a good way to make friends. I've met bare sick people who don't.
Yeah. No, that's true. And it works for your favour, really. I think it's a nice little funny turn of pace. Sleepy's is pretty, empty, really. Pen piercing his throat. Pesci levels of deadly. It's, it's not too invigorating. The judging, 4-1. Which breaks my heart, really, to say. I
know that since then a lot of them have watched it back and been like, I don't know why the fuck I said that.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where it's like, what were people thinking? Was no one actually listening?
Yeah, I don't think mine were actually listening. I don't think Wilsey was listening. I don't think Raptor was listening. I don't know what the fuck I thought Harry Baker would have my back out of fucking everybody, but fuck knows, isn't it?
So just to go through Raptor, who he's still around. He says at the start, Sleepy gets it for him. Briggsy didn't feel your singing, which is a kind of weird way.
Oh yeah,
to
that's
pick.
Another thing, man.
Yeah.
How the fuck does that take away? Obviously, Briggsy has since said that he made the wrong decision, but like, yeah, to be honest, what I should have realized that the song I was trying to sing, most of those people don't know what song that is anyway, so they're not going to hear it as a rendition. They're just going to hear it as me trying to fucking sing, which obviously is terrible. So I get that now in hindsight, but yeah, it's just one of them things.
And the only guy to give it to you is the man Pete Cashmore.
Yeah, because obviously he knows what I want. Yeah, but no, big up him. He obviously fucking he was like he was bare surprised. He was like, I don't know, I don't know what they're on about, mate. I remember he said it to me afterwards. He's like gobsmacked. Yeah.
No, there was it's just it just doesn't, like, I know at the end of the day it's about writing, as I say, it's not about winning and losing, but you just want to see a bit of internal justice in this thing we love, and things that make sense. And as time has passed, this battle's like 3 years old almost now. The comments are just like, stuffed with people being like, what the fuck?
People, I know, yeah. There's like one saying that it was the right decision or some shit.
Yeah. There was pretty big shame. And another big shame is that we don't see you in an a cappella battle again. We have an on beat battle, which we're going to get onto, but why haven't you returned, man?
Oh, it's I was going to clash Press. That was going to be my next one, and I had some crazy shit lined up for him, but that didn't happen because of some shit. But me and Press are boys now anyway, so that's whatever, innit? Like, we're just like making tunes together and shit now. But I don't know. I think I can't remember what it was that just made me think. It's just I don't know. I was focusing on music. Obviously, that's what the fucking the thing is, innit? I'm focusing on music. Because I mean, another thing, I was gonna clash Seaslin, and I prepared for Press and I prepared for Seaslin, and I had fucking all this shit, and I used to be a bin man in it, so I'd be doing my bin man rounds, reciting my shit, getting it there, getting it bang bang, getting it fucking sling and this that, and then fucking neither of them happened. So I was like, I just did all that for nothing. You know what I'm saying? And they just kind of put me off it a bit. I mean, I do still want to find somewhere to put competitive energy with fucking bars. But like I said earlier, innit, like I'd be happy to just do it with fucking, we'll make diss tracks at each other if you really want to fucking compete with me, innit? Because that's at least then it's like honed, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like more likely to be like fucking like put across perfectly. But like I will always, if somebody fucking rolls up to me and says clash me, if I got the time, I'll do it, innit? Even if it's just 2 bars.
Yeah, yeah. And the next battle then, the final battle, the 4th battle against Mr. Tongue Twister.
Because you're 34 and you still push a pushback. You should at least have like a 7 grand Civic, but nah. You just sound annoying when you spit. You have the same tone of voice as a spoiled little kid. You think you're bad because you don't have to go to the toilet when you piss. When you're 46, so just call it fucking quits. And we're in Leicester, so you best not get me started, son. I didn't even bring this crowd. I don't like less than half of them. But I'd be damned if I don't leave with all the baddest bitches' numbers. You're 66 and you still ask for bitches tumblers. Years you've been clashing, you never got that far. Because I don't know who the fuck's been telling you you're hard.
Fair to say the crowd a little bias on this.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, he didn't stand a Chinaman's chance.
No. I
mean, he wasn't even that bad.
No.
I don't know, I'm not going to lie, yeah. I think, like, if it was a cappella and it was a not biased crowd, it would have been a good match. But he just steps into the fucking lion's den, innit?
Yeah.
Like, because I know who was in the crowd, innit? And they're not going to give a fuck. They're just going to, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, certainly. And good to see you on beat, though, battling in that environment.
Yeah. Yeah, and even though the sound fucked up, this is another thing. You can't fucking trust, like, these fucking Leicester places to be professional and fucking have all the high standard shit like this. The sound fucked up because man was just like DJs was just fucking around, and like, it was a bit of a shabby event, but I don't give a fuck because in that 3rd round when I got that weak look, I'll fucking remember that forever, innit?
Definitely, man, definitely. It's just, you know, I want to see you against the good writers, man, in a pit format.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it could have happened. I mean, maybe I will, because I always thought when Soul's not, because I'd never want to clash Soul in it, but I always thought when Soul's not the fucking champ anymore, if I feel like I could take who the champ is, and I feel like I got the time and the trajectory is looking doable, then I'll go for it, innit? But obviously, fuck knows what I'm going for. Don't flop now.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't even know.
No, that, yeah, it is, yeah, weird what's unfolding. But I mean, you just music now. Like, how do people get your music? How do people listen to it?
SoundCloud. I'm like nowadays. I'll just make a song. Because now I produce as well, innit? Like I've only just started doing that shit, and like getting a hang of it and doing it to a standard where it's like, yeah, I can put this out. Like, yeah, SoundCloud. I'm always putting new tunes up on there. I got 1 project on iTunes. I got how many? I got 3 solo projects you can get: Torture Chambers, Black Blankets, and Those That Reap. Couple BLG projects. That's like me, Kamikaze, Saint Schizo, fucking bare producers from Leicester, Man Is Cooler, Arctic One, Mugen, and Dub Pilot, and then fucking Cornelius as well. He's like in the middle of Norfolk somewhere now, but he's coming back around. Like, there's a whole crew of us here who are just making music, innit? It's like, it's a BLG thing, innit? Like, even in my ends, it's just like, it's BLG's just a family, innit?
Yeah, man. Yeah, you know, regardless, people need to check all of this stuff out. All of the material's fantastic. You know, to watch these battles, there's 4 battles. It'll probably take you about 50 minutes. Like, you know, maybe that, you know, the length of a Game of Thrones episode. Just get up to date with this guy's stuff, you know, and for all of that, you know, this is awesome stuff. And we close the episodes, Pennies, with a few quick-fire questions.
Sick.
First one being your favourite Don't Flop battle.
Oh, C Major and Soul.
Oh.
Straight up.
Great choice. Yes, such a good battle. Soul won, right?
Yeah, it was a fucking hard battle though. Both of them were like, that's definitely the best I've seen from both of them. And like, I've seen Soul some sick shit. I've seen Sia some sick shit as well. But that clash there, and I was in the room as well. And Soul said my name, so it was that's just my favourite one.
But when does Soul say your name?
Where he say, you know, when he's going on the list of why we should be humble, and he just fucking strips him down, and he's like, you couldn't, like, this ego thing has no place here, because really and truly, that shit there, it wasn't even just to C Major. That was to every spitter. Like, that was just a public service announcement for anybody who thinks that they want to get their fucking little bar spitting thing and think that means that they're some G. Like, it was fully church in there when he did that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man. And your favourite King of the Dot battle?
Off the top of my head, I can't even, like, I'm not gonna lie, these American ones, it's like, okay, I'd have to think if that was
sure.
Okay, what is it? Is Daylight and Mad Child on King of the Dot?
Yes, it is. Yeah,
I'd probably say that then, because I like that.
Okay.
Is that the one where he goes, I'm a little teapot, Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Because My Child was hard in that as well, and obviously that's another one where it's like an artist coming into this thing and showing that they can do it, and then obviously a classic battle rapper, and I thought that was a good matchup.
URL?
This is so bait, but I have to say it, innit? Do you know what I'm gonna say?
You're gonna say Lux Calico?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. I like I can't even remember who was Clash Shotgun Shug and fucking. I like Arsenal and Sharon as well. That's a good one. But no, my favorite. If that was even, well, that might have been King of the Dot. I don't know.
Arsenal Sharon. No, that was Don't Flop. Yeah.
Oh, was it the one where he grips the belly off him? Where
yeah,
Sharon
it is.
pulls out
Yeah.
the belly and he grips it off him.
Yeah.
And the other one where fucking they're in Detroit and Trick starts switching at Arsenal. Because he says something about Shotgun Shug. That was another one that I liked as well. But yeah, no, in terms of battle, yeah, obviously fucking Calico and Lux, innit?
Final two questions. Your favourite film?
My favourite film. Well, my favourite, I'd say Lord of the Rings, but I couldn't pick one film.
Right.
So I'd say my favourite film is either the animation from the 1980s heavy metal, City of God, The Shining. Fucking hell, I'm just gonna go on in I don't even know.
Yeah.
I'd probably say City of God, maybe The Shining.
Okay. And finally, I appreciate this will be quite difficult for yourself. Your favourite musical artist that is non-hip hop related?
Ooh, there's this fucking funk synth don, William Onyema from East Nigeria. Fucking bad, man. Him, I don't know, in terms of like legacy and shit. I don't want to say Kurt Cobain because that's bait, but you know what I'm saying. Maybe like fucking, I don't know. Yeah, I'd probably say Kurt Cobain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So this has been great, man. You know, one of the joys of this show is, you know, having people like yourself that I'm huge fans of. What's next for you musically?
I'm working on this thing now that I'm trying to drop in September. It's called Chiaroscuro, which is a cinematographical term.
Yeah, like black and white, isn't it?
Yeah,
the
contrast
shadow.
between dark and light. That's what that means.
Yeah.
That's I'm putting that together now, innit? Like, the last couple projects I've released have been 8 tunes each, because I think that 8 tunes is just a nice, easy project. But this one I'm trying to make a bit longer and trying to do a bit more with it. And got some more shit coming with Kamikaze. Got some shit coming with a guy from Leicester who I've always rapped with called Deuce Non-Fruity, Deuce Sparks. He's obviously my fucking good friend. We got some shit coming. He's got flavors. Fucking yeah, I'm just gonna be spitting. I'm gonna do another video soon, and then obviously I'm producing now as well. So I'm just gonna let off little things on SoundCloud here and there, like outside of like big projects and that. But I'm like, to be honest, I'm easy with it now. I actually feel like I've made it to the point where I'm easy, where I don't really have much more to accomplish, because you get me, I'm just making music and releasing it now. And obviously you can get caught up trying to get to the next step, trying to get to this level of this and that, but I ain't even really watching that now like I have done in the past. But now I feel like I'm in a place where I can literally just make my music and dash it out, and have people listen, say it's sick, and I do it again. You know what I'm saying?
No, totally, man, totally. It's been a real pleasure to speak about the writing that I admire so much. It's great to go over it. And I guess finally, your Twitter, your social media, where do people find you?
It's all Twisted Pennies. Pennies spelt as in possession, not plural, so it's with a Y but no apostrophe.
Yeah.
So that's everything. That's me on everything.
And I guess finally I want to just say as well, please subscribe to the channel. We've got the Patreon at BattlerapreSume, battlerapresume@gmail.com. Check out our Ask Battle Resume episodes as well, where I sort of answer questions. Thank you guys as ever for subscribing, for listening. Totally appreciate it. Thank you as always. And Twisted, this has been great, man. Thank you.
Yeah, it's been good, man. Thank you for having me.